Hi, and welcome. My name is Donna Baranier, and I am honored to be the bereavement coordinator for Haven Health. We wanted to talk to you about grief and grief rituals. Many of you may be aware that traditionally Haven has hosted our annual memorial service and butterfly ceremony in either the months of September or October. And because of what's happening in our world, we've had to temporarily postpone it to next year. We're expecting it in the spring of 2021. In the meantime, we wanted to come to you with a video to share about the grieving process and maybe give you some ideas on ways to honor your loved one through grief ritual. For many of us, the grieving process is something that's scary, that is uncomfortable, it's the unknown, and it can be overwhelming. Grief can show up in ways that we don't expect, as well as ways that we maybe expect it to. For example, many of us have the emotional feelings of sadness or frustration or anger. Sometimes we have difficulty with our eating or sleeping patterns. They may shift. We might have a difficult time focusing or concentrating and staying on task or remembering what we need at the grocery store. So now we need a list. There's a variety of ways that can affect us. For some of us, it may show up as wanting to take care of somebody, of having that opportunity to help in some way or complete tasks. And some of us, like myself, I'm a combination of the two. I like to share about how I'm feeling with people that I trust, and I also like to make sure my loved ones are taken care of. So, like I said, there are a variety of ways. Just like we all have our own fingerprint, we also have our own grief print, is how I share it. And it's one way to think about the unique way that we're all grieving when we're experiencing the death of a loved one or a loss of some kind. One of the ways that we can honor and celebrate our loved one is through ritual. And for ritual, that can mean something different for everybody. A ritual is something that is done symbolically in honor of their loved one as a way to remember them, honor them, celebrate them in some way. It could be as simple as lighting a candle and saying their name. Now, if we're having difficulty with concentration, or if there's small children in the home or pets, we might want to have an LED candle. That way, if we forget and walk away or go to the market, everything's going to be safe. There are candles that can also be lit by light bulb. You plug in the light bulb and the candle is there with the whatever the scent is that you're wanting to have, you've chosen at that time. So there are a variety of ways that you can light a candle in honor of your loved one. Sometimes we choose to have a space in our home that's dedicated to them. We might have a candle there, a picture. We might place something there that we remember them by. Maybe it's artwork they had done or some other craft that they had completed. It could be a favorite memento from them, a watch or piece of jewelry or something else that is meaningful to us. The key to ritual is meaningful, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Other examples of rituals include having a memorial tree, and that is a tree that's you can buy it at like Michael's or online at Etsy, and Pinterest has some examples where there's branches on it. It's not a real tree, but you can hang pictures of your loved one. You can hang words of meaning about that person on different branches. It could be a favorite story. It could be something small, maybe a favorite phrase, anything that you can put on the tree to memorialize your loved one. Some people choose memorial trees that have pictures of all their loved ones as they pass, and that's something that's maybe handed down from family member to family member. There's a lot of different ways that you can incorporate a memorial tree. You can buy a star. Online, there are star registries. You Google them and you can buy a star in honor of your loved one, name it after your loved one. That's kind of fun and it's different. Some people plant trees or plant flowers, especially if their loved one was a gardener or liked a specific flower, that there's that way to remember them in that capacity. Some people who maybe like what woodworking or ceramics or some other form of art can create something to place in that area, letting everyone know that this space is dedicated to mom or dedicated to a loved one, or whatever the situation may be, or a favorite pet. Same thing. You can put a sign out there. I know someone in ceramics who had done at a ceramics mom's garden, and it was meaningful to that person because they created it, and it was meaningful to the rest of the family because they had the opportunity to know where that came from. Other examples of rituals could include participating in a special event, like the Day of the Dead in the end of October. And you can Google information about that as well. Some people choose to create a memory book. Maybe different family members take different parts of that your loved one's life to create, like favorite foods or favorite music or favorite books or favorite movies, depending on what your loved one enjoyed. Um, and then they share it together, and then they put it all together in one big book. And you can make copies of that, and then every family or every person has a copy. And that's another way to create a meaningful ritual. By meaningful, I mean something that means something to you. One of these ideas might have sparked an interest in you. It might have sparked an interest that you want to Google more information or talk about it with your family as a way to come up with a ritual that's meaningful to you. Some people, that ritual continues, like every year on a death anniversary. For some, it's a one-time event, and that's okay. It's whatever brings the most comfort to you. If you would like assistance in creating your own grief ritual, something that's meaningful and specific to you and your family, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We can definitely help you with that. You can reach us at our office at 562-426-7500, extension 206. My cell number is 562-254-8713. You're more than welcome to reach out to us if you would like additional support. Above all, please keep taking care of you. Through all rituals, through the grieving process, it's very important that we take care of us, because especially at this time right now, it can be difficult to remember to stay hydrated. We can forget to eat. We can have trouble sleeping. Tend to isolate. That's very common right now, what's going on in our world. So there are a lot of different ways that self-care can show up as important. So please do continue to do that for yourself. And if you have any questions on self-care or other ways to take care of yourself, you can also reach out to us, and we'd be happy to talk with you as well. Please take care of you. Thank you for watching. Take care.